7 Austin News at 5.
The White House has released a memo on President Trump's July telephone conversation with Ukraine's leader, hours after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi launched an impeachment inquiry against Trump. Here to talk about this is Travis County GOP Chairman Matt Mackowiak and Glenn Smith from Progress, Texas. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you. Sure.
Glenn, the call's transcript is crucial to the formal impeachment inquiry. With what's now been released, will Democrats move forward with the inquiry?
I think they were going to move forward no matter what. I think this memo describing a phone call in which Trump asked a foreign leader to intervene in the U.S. presidential election by giving him dirt on maybe a likely opponent, I don't think that the House has any choice but to enforce the law and look at the law, and if laws are broken, say so and pass along to the Senate. I don't think that the House can condone it, just say, oh, we don't care, because the precedent that would set for future presidents. So I think they've done the right thing by launching the inquiry, and we'll see what the facts show as we move forward.
Matt, during the call, Trump repeatedly asked Ukraine's leader to work with Rudy Giuliani and the U.S. Attorney General to look into unsubstantiated allegations against the Bidens. Is that an impeachable offense?
So if you look at the transcript in its totality, there are a few things that are clear. First of all, there's absolutely no quid pro quo in the conversation, and that's something that people on both sides of the aisle and in the national media have admitted right off the top today, all throughout the day. I think second is that none of this forward-looking stuff was brought up by the president. It was brought up by the president of Ukraine. He's the one that mentioned Giuliani. Trump never mentioned Giuliani. He said he wanted Giuliani to be sent to Ukraine so he could meet with him. So he brought that up. The thing that Trump brought up was looking backward, looking back at 2016. I seem to remember Democrats complaining about the 2016 election and about, quote, collusion. And President Trump knows that CrowdStrike was involved, and the Ukrainian government or Ukrainian operatives may have also been involved. So that's what he was asking about, was the hack of the DNC server. So, look, this is a letdown for the Democrats. I said on Twitter, this is a disaster for Pelosi. She committed her conference, and in fact the entire House, to move forward with an impeachment inquiry without having the facts. This transcript undermines every single thing the Democrats said yesterday. President Trump did not mention defense aid at all. There's no quid pro quo. He didn't positively and by himself bring up the 2020 stuff. He did mention Biden and Biden's son once. One time. No, I don't believe it's impeachable. I don't think it reaches that threshold.
Glenn, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's ridiculous. I think it's spin. I think they're trying to protect a criminal president. It stuns me that anybody here locally or in Washington is trying to cover for a president who looks like he's committed several crimes. Why not get to the bottom of it? This doesn't undermine anything Democrats have talked about. Quite the contrary. He tried to get a foreign government, he colluded with a foreign government to intervene in the 2020 election. It's there on the record. That's a crime. In fact, it could be multiple crimes: extortion, bribery, federal corruption, campaign finance. Could be any of those crimes or all of them. We've got to get to the bottom of this. Just to excuse this thug, this mobster who's president because he happens to belong to your party, is a disservice to America and to American voters.
Matt, even if the president, didn't promise anything in return for information, I mean, is that the kind of precedent that we want to set?
Well, I think the question of the precedent is, do we want to impeach someone on something that's clearly not illegal? I don't believe there's anything illegal in this call. There was no quid pro quo.
You don't know what the call is. You've got a memo from the White House, first of all. So you don't know.
So you're a transcript truther, Glenn? Is that what you are? You don't believe the transcript is complete?
I'd be a truther about the law. Yeah, when it comes to the president, absolutely.
You just said it wasn't a complete transcript.
It wasn't.
Okay, well,
it was a memo.
If we learn that the transcript left out key information, I'll be the first to criticize that. The challenge is yesterday, just yesterday, the entire House Democratic caucus said they believed that President Trump held back defense aid and used that as a bribe to try to get Ukraine to initiate an investigation of the Bidens. This transcript proves that's not what happened.
Not a transcript.
And in fact, the whistleblower hasn't even heard the call firsthand. The whistleblower heard it secondhand. And the Inspector General has said the whistleblower had a partisan bias, and that's going to come out as well. So look, this whole thing is falling apart for the Democrats. They really thought they had Trump this time. They learned nothing from the Russian collusion delusion hoax, and this is falling apart, and they have to deal with that.
Well, it sounds like this is just the beginning of something. I'm sure we're going to learn more in the coming days and weeks. We are out of time, but Matt, Glenn, thank you both for sharing your perspectives with us tonight.